Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is this one. It's called Nobody's Fool by author Harlan Coben. Was released by Century as a hardback here in the UK on the 27th of March 2025. I've reviewed a Harlan Coben book on the channel before, but that was Myron Bolitar. This, however, is another character that featured in a previous book by Harlan Coben called Fool Me Once. And it's in those days it was Detective Sami Kierce. Now it's Private Investigator Sami Kierce. Sami in this book is paying off his debts to a law firm. He's being sued for an incident where a guy fell off a building and injured himself, and they're blaming Sami for that. And so he's working as a PI for a law firm. He's also doing other jobs as a PI, but you know, things generally aren't going wonderfully well. So in the evening, he's running a course for would-be sleuths, you know, on criminology, and he says, checking his notes, the class on criminology, he's called it No Shit Sherlock, and he's charging $16 a go, half of which goes to the guy who owns the building that he's running the course on. But Sami's a guy with a past, and apart from his current problems of, you know, being a PI, a lowly paid PI, he's got his wife Molly, got a baby to worry about. He's got a past where something is basically playing on his mind all the time. And it's when he was, a college grad. 22 years ago, he went with some mates to the Costa del Sol in Spain and was dancing in the local disco. Met a girl called Anna and fell for her big time. And Anna and Sami spent quite a lot of time together. Then one night they go out together, they go back to her place. He wakes up in the morning to find blood everywhere and a knife in his hand. Sami doesn't know what to do. He panics, rings his dad, and his dad says, my best advice to you, son, is to get on the next flight to the USA and get the hell out of there. And that's what he does. So this dream of waking up with the bloodstained knife haunts him all the time, and he can't get Anna out of his mind. So one night he's taken a class at the amateur sleuth. So the class is a criminology class, and he's called it No Shit Sherlock. He starts every session with a quote from Sherlock Holmes on the screen, or should I say Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And this particular night there's a quote that says, and I'll read it off my notebook to make sure I get it right. It says, "It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to trust facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts." So Sami quite likes this cast because it's a fairly mixed group. He's got some more mature ladies in their 70s who call themselves the Pink Panthers, and they're true crime addicts. He's got a group called the Three Dead Hots, who are budding podcasters. He's got a guy, he likes calling people by nicknames, so he's got a guy called Golfer Gary. There's another guy called Leisure Suit Lenny. And he's also got a couple of people that help him occasionally. A lass called Debbie, who's a bit of a grifter, and a homeless guy called Raymond. And so it's a fairly eclectic mix. So they're holding a class one night, and Sami notices someone at the back of the class, somebody popping in, and he can't believe his eyes because it's Anna, the girl of his dreams, the girl that the incident with 22 years ago. She's aged, but he's absolutely sure that it's Anna. He goes to go towards her because he recognises her, and she basically legs it, and that is the start of the tale, because Sami, or Kierce as he's referred to most of the time by his surname, he can't get her out of his mind. He wants to know what went on that night because it's never been resolved, and it haunts him. And there's a quote in there that says, he screamed when he woke up, and he says, does that scream ever go, or does it just get softer as the years go by? So that's crime one, if you will. That's mystery number one. He needs to find out what's happened to Anna, if this is Anna, and P.S. what on earth's going on? There's also another problem, is that during his career as a detective, he put away a guy called Tad Grayson. Tad's responsible for murder for a lady called Nicole, who was Sammy's partner. So there's a bit of personal, interest in that. And it turns out that Grayson is getting out of jail on a technicality. So he's got two things to worry about. He's got the lady that suddenly appeared after 22 years that he thought had gone, and he's got this guy who he put away now getting out of jail. So what does he do? Well, he's a PI. He can't let it go. He needs to find out what's going on. But he gets his class involved and says to them, hey, this is a class project. And away they go. And they start helping him, trying to find the perps. The first story, they suddenly find out this is linked in with the mysterious disappearance. There was a kidnapping of a well-to-do lady called Victoria Belmont, disappeared for 11 years, suddenly found again. And there seems to be a bit of synchronicity between the missing Anna and Victoria. Are they the same person? Are they just, did they just look alike? So that's one mystery that needs solving, and also the mystery of Tad Grayson, who claims that he didn't commit the murder, but Sammy is absolutely 100% sure he did. So the class, if you will, are given two projects, and the story pans out where the class are helping Sammy in his quest to find the truth. So, well-written book, 414 pages, quite an easy read. I liked it because of the actual group of Sammy's class are a fairly eclectic mix, and we get to hear their stories, and he calls them by their nicknames, and there's some humour involved as well with some of particularly the homeless guy Raymond, who's not as daft as he looks, and eventually helps to solve the case. So, really good read. Typical Harlan Coben, really. Plenty of twists. You won't guess what's going on till right towards the end. Another cracking murder mystery. So I enjoyed it. I'd certainly give it 7 out of 10. And that's it. So I think that's it for this week's brief book review. Thanks for watching. 10/10. Do we do it again?